Lovely Lil Fam.
Reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Amanda. Today, I look a little different. You'll see soon why. I'm probably gonna look a little crazy in a lot of these videos, but get ready for it. Today, we are going to be doing a very requested video. I've meant to film this video so many times in the past. I don't think I ever have posted one. A lot of things have changed over the years, but I feel like if there is a certain period in time where you liked where I edited my photos the most, I'm still gonna clear that up for you guys today. So I'm sure you just got it from that and the title. I am going to be showing you guys how I edit my photos today. It's super simple, nothing complex. However, the way I do it does cost money. So I will give you that disclaimer, but I'm also gonna be letting you guys know some ways that you can do it for free. You probably already know about them, but I'm gonna let you know anyway. So first off, I feel like I'll get a lot of questions on how I take my photos. My photos are either taken with my iPhone. Now I have the 11 Pro Max, but I haven't had this forever, obviously. Or they are taken on either one of my cameras or on one of Evan's cameras. And I'll put them on the screen here and I'll put them in the description down below as well because I don't know Evan's camera off the top of my head. My camera is the Canon EOS 70D. I have a few different lenses, so sometimes if it's an up close photo, I will use my Sigma lens, or I use the same lens a lot of the time that I film on, this one right here. It is the Canon zoom lens, the EFS 18 to 55 millimeter, and hopefully that's all the information you need. After I take my photos, I import them all onto my phone. I edit all of my photos entirely on my phone. I don't do anything on my laptop or computer or whatever. So after they're in my Photos app, we're gonna do another screen record situation today. After I import my photos into my camera library, if you're doing this on a camera, they probably have a lot of different apps that you can use Wi-Fi to get them to your phone. If not, I'm not like a tech wizard. I would look into that, but get them to your camera roll and then we'll start from here. So I put a little folder together on my phone just so I could have some unedited photos and show you guys how I do them. A lot of them you've already seen on Instagram, so you'll see really quick how simple it is to edit them and get them ready for Instagram. I have a few main apps that I use. For the most part, I just use Lightroom. Occasionally, I will use Facetune, and if you wanted a free alternative, you could use VSCO. First, I'm gonna start in Lightroom. In the bottom right corner, there's a little photo with a plus sign. You're gonna go ahead and click on that. You're gonna insert from camera roll if that's where your photos are. And I am going to go ahead and select, scroll down to how I edit my photos. That is the folder that I put everything in. I'm gonna go ahead and select all of these. You can kind of just run your finger along them, select them all, add. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one and we can kind of work backwards. So how I edit my photos first off is I buy presets. So I've had several different presets over the years. I will have all of the ones that I've used in the past linked below, and I will also kind of show you guys today. A lot of people spend more time editing their photos than I do. I'm kind of lazy with it, I will be honest, but I feel like maybe that's good because then it's really easy to kind of mimic if you want to edit your photos the same way that I do. Currently, I'm using Megan Rink's presets. I don't know if she has several different packs, but I will put the name of the pack on the screen here, and also down below I will link them. A lot of the time you can buy just one preset or you can buy a pack of them. I usually buy packs because then you can kind of play around with which ones you like. In the past, I've also had Aspen Ovard's presets, and I think there's one other one, but I can't think of whose right now. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just been two. But right now I'm using Megan Rink's, And so you have to import your presets. I don't know if they've changed this since, but I believe you have to import your presets on your computer first and then transfer them over to your iPhone. That is a super, super long, complex process. And so I don't want to mess up how I'm telling you to do it. And honestly, I haven't done it in a really long time. So I would look up a video on how to do that. They also probably come with instructions on how to do it. First, you have to buy the preset and then get it to Lightroom on your desktop and then get it on your phone as well. Lightroom is another thing that costs money. I pay monthly for Lightroom. I believe it's like $5 or $10 a month. It's nothing crazy, but I need it to edit my photos. I mean, I guess I don't need it, but I prefer it. Is that a spider? What in the world is that? It's walking like a spider, but I don't think it's a spider. You guys know me and spiders. After you get your presets here, you're gonna scroll on the bottom all the way over. There's two little circles that say presets underneath. Here, all your presets are going to be, okay, the other ones that I've used in the past are Tezza presets. And I also made a few at one point in time. The ones that I've been using recently, as I said, are Megan Ranks. The ones that I've been using are Basic B and Everyday Thought. Really fitting to my brand, I know. But, so I believe that when I edited these photos, actually I don't know which one I used. Let's see. I think I used Basic B. But what's nice is if you have all of your presets in there, you can kind of just click through them and see which one you like on your photo. But the key to having a cohesive Instagram feed is to continuously use one or two presets that like maybe look similar. So that's why right now I'm kind of going between the two that I said, because I feel like they are very similar, and depending on the photo that I have, I think both of them work nicely together to kind of create that cohesive feed. Basic B, if I'm a little more washed out or there's more lighting, I can get away with this one because it adds a little bit more of color, a little more saturation in. But Everyday Thought is a little bit brighter. So this photo, to start off with, is fairly dark. So when I go in and do Everyday Thought, it brightens it up a bunch. However, I did do Basic B because I wanted to be a little bit more tan and whatever, but it's all about personal preference. A lot of these presets that I have on here, I never used. So I am gonna go through and show you guys which ones I used, like I said. When I had my red theme, I always used Aspen Outdoor. This makes reds pop a ton, makes me look very orange, as you can see, and kind of takes away every other color. So it's really just focused on the reds. I really liked that one for a while. This is one that I was also using for a while that I made myself. It doesn't look good on this photo, but I can go through and show you on some other photos. This was more of just like a natural edit. It would kind of bring out the tones. So I will show you what that looks like on a different picture. And then this one also is just very natural that I made and didn't have much. Same with this one. And same with this one. Those are all ones that I made myself, but I for the most part used this lighter pink one, I believe. To just continue on to show you guys some other photos. Like I said, you can kind of just click through your presets and see which ones you like if you order a whole pack of them. So this is one of the ones that I have been using. So Basic B and Everyday Thought. These really brighten it up, give a nice airy look to it, but you can click through the other ones, see if you like those better. See, this one's really natural, kind of gives just like some more saturation. Also, so this one I'm gonna show you here because this one needs a little bit more work than just the preset. So when you're in Lightroom, you don't just have to apply the preset, you can change other settings as well. So I'm gonna click through here, see which preset I like. So this one's a little bit brighter, so I'm gonna go with this. This was a dark photo. This was taken after sunset, and it's still very dark. So sometimes when photos are really, really dark, it's gonna be really hard to get them to look right without getting super pixely. As you can kind of see, this one is already very pixely. Sometimes that just happens. But you can scroll back over You could try to hit auto, see if you like that, but that kind of just more brings out like the fireworks and the sunset in the background. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna go into light settings, kind of play with the exposure. That kind of brings me more into focus a little bit. Play around with highlights, see how you like them. I'm gonna keep them down here a little more. Kind of just play around with what you think looks good. More of the time I'll just play with the exposure, and then I'll go over into the color spot and play around with temperature, saturation, so on and so forth. So I kind of want this to be a little more warm tone, so I'm gonna put it up a little bit on temperature. Saturation, I kind of want a little more color in it. And so as you can see, we transformed this picture quite a bit. Now it kind of looks like it's like daytime. There's more color. I look like I'm actually living. You can see my face. So there are lots of other things you can do as well, but that's just kind of how I edit mine. I don't play around with the other settings at all. Going forward, I'm just gonna keep showing you how easy and how fast presets can transform your photos. So like I said, I've been using these two. I put basic B on this photo, and you can see it just kind of lightens it up a little bit, gives it some warm tones. And when you put this on all of your photos, it's going to bring out the same tones, give it the same vibe. So when you post your photos all together, they're gonna look cohesive and like they all go together. And that's how you keep a good feed. Gonna keep going on, play around with which ones I like more. Like that one. Takes out more of the blue tones and makes it super light and airy. This one goes more with my feed, so we're gonna stick to this one. Okay. Here, this is another super dark photo, but I believe the only thing I did was throw a preset on it, and it really just brightens everything up. But again, you could play around with the lighting if you wanted it to be a little bit brighter, you wanted it to have a little bit more saturation, you could do that, you could turn it down, whatever you prefer. Same here, I just threw a preset on these. It really brightens it up and gives it a whole new vibe. So on these, you can see that the preset is a bit much. I look really orange, I look really bright, but if you want to continue having that same vibe and you want to still use it, you can select the preset. And then this is when I would go around and play with the settings a little bit. It's really orange, so I'm gonna bring down the temperature a little bit, bring down the saturation maybe a tiny bit, or the vibrance of it. Bring a little bit more brightness in. Maybe make it more purple tone so it takes that green hint out a little bit. Whole new vibe. So on and so forth. It is super simple to edit your photos in Lightroom. Really easy to get the hang of. So now going into Facetune, I kind of mentioned this in my video yesterday. This is why this photo is pulled up. I'm showing you guys how you can go in and edit on Facetune. So obviously you don't just have to edit your faces in here, but they do have nice smoothing tools, whitening, details. But more often I use Facetune not for faces, but for like backgrounds. Say I really like this photo, but I really want the whites to pop more. So I'm gonna go into the whiten tool, and I am just going to drag this all along the whites to really brighten them up. You have to be careful around yourself because you could get it like on your skin potentially, and then you turn gray. So this is not done well, but I am gonna leave that little spot there just so you can see the difference. And then I also can show you here. There's quite a huge difference. So Facetune is great for things like that, or details, like if there's a picture of a flower, you want the flowers to stand out more, you can kind of detail over them. Or like an item of your clothing or something, like say I wanted like the Gucci on this scrunchie to stand out more. Like obviously this is super far away, but if it was up close, I could detail that and it would make it stand out more. So that's really what I like to use Facetune for. You can also do tones. I am not a pro with the tone tool, but you can like change the color of things. So now, for those of you that want a free option, you can go into VSCO Cam. So again, if I wanted to edit these same photos, I could import them into VSCO. And VSCO has a lot of free filters, just like Instagram kind of does, but the nice thing about VSCO is that I feel like the filters are more like, they're nicer than Instagram's filters. And you can play around with how much you want on it, which is really nice. So you can kind of slide the scale, maybe you only want it here. And then again, you can edit the same settings like the brightness, the tone, the everything in here. So say I wanted to also make this a little bit warmer tone. Bring the saturation up. Bring the exposure up a little bit to make it a little brighter. You can play around with that stuff. You can also buy more filters on VSCO. The only thing about filters versus presets is filters are not necessarily going to keep all of your photos looking the same way, because filters are just throwing like a filter colors on top of a photo, versus presets change the settings of your photos. So it's altering the brightness, the color in this, the color in that. So that's how presets keep your photos looking the same. I'm not super knowledgeable on it, but that is how I understand it anyway. Also, if you wanted to just pay for Lightroom and get free presets, Pinterest has a lot of great free presets. So type in presets for Lightroom free. They walk you through what to put each of your photos on, and then after you do that, so let's try one of these out. We'll just go with this first one here because it's very clear that this one is free. It has everything listed out right here. We are going to go into Lightroom. I just tried to make a free preset and it didn't really work well, so we're gonna go ahead and give it another shot. We're gonna go into Lightroom. I'm gonna try it on this photo here. We are going to put contrast at -7, highlights at -32, shadows at +53, whites at +13, blacks +27, temperature +12, tint -8, vibrance +24, texture +16, noise reduction +14, color noise reduction +20, color red we're putting up +10, hue +10, saturation, and then luminance -14. Then we're going into orange, hue -7, saturation -21, luminance -4, yellow, hue minus 100, saturation minus 100, luminance plus 24, green saturation minus 100, and then blue saturation minus 100. I don't know if it's this one or that one. Okay, so this was not the correct photo to do this on, but clearly this one did something. So we're gonna go ahead, create the preset. We're gonna do warm white. Okay, I'm gonna take it on maybe this one. Back in the Lightroom. We're gonna go ahead over to presets and do warm white. Okay, I think that one actually worked. It's not gonna be good on this one either. We'll just throw it on this for fun. Okay, yeah, makes it warm white. Okay, so basically you guys get the point. You know how to go in, find them on Pinterest, put them into Lightroom and save them. So you still would have to pay for Lightroom monthly, however, you wouldn't have to buy presets. So if that's something you're interested in. When I go to post my photos, I put them into plan. You can upload them, move them around, see which order you want to upload them in and get that nice aesthetic. I think that's really helpful. And I mentioned also in my last video yesterday was on my iPhone. You guys asked me a lot what I use to edit my stories. I use this app Plan. They have a lot of different templates. I actually pay for this as well just so I have more option, but they have like every template ever that you could want for your stories. So it's really nice. It keeps them, again, kind of cohesive. They look better than just like throwing up a photo on there. And then you just throw the photo in. You can say we're gonna do this picture of my iPhone. And I want it here, and then I wanna do a swipe up for what's on my iPhone. I have long nails, so I'm hitting all the wrong things. But like you can change the font in here, do whichever font you want. You can change the color, you can add different things. It's really great and a really easy way to make stories. And like I said, you can use the free version. A lot of story apps I find that you almost have to pay, so this one's nice because you do have that option. And so that is how I edit my photos, I upload them, and how I do my stories. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If there's something that I didn't cover that you guys have questions about, be sure to comment them down below and I will either respond to you in the comments or do another video explaining if I need to explain better. Thank you guys so much for watching another day of Month of Mandy. Be sure to stick around for tomorrow's video. If you guys are not subscribed already, be sure to click that subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I post a video. And I love you guys so, so, so much. Thank you again so much for watching. Till tomorrow, stay blessed and don't forget to live lovely. Bye.